Okay. So, welcome everyone on behalf of PSF Skills Academy, Hyderabad. So, as you know, like we are like on the climax of our scheduled course. Okay, and as I said, like in the technology, there is no end. Every day is a new day for you. Okay, so the learning will never get stopped, and the day you stop learning, that will be end of your career in the IT industry. So learning will be everywhere, and every day you need to learn. So far in the CCNA, what things we have done. So just a quick revision. So we we talk about the switches. Switch is nothing but the L2 device, and we know we talk about the CCA. Um, VLAN. We talk about the trunk. We talk about the VTP. We talk about STP. We talk about the Ether channel. So these all are the L2 technology. L2 means they all are on the learn the MAC address, and they work on the MAC stuff. So switch has the L2 device, right? Then we talk about when you want to connect one switch to another switch, or you want a communication between one switch to another, like another VLAN. Then the option we have seen, like there is something called gateway. We talk about the gateway. Gateway is nothing but the layer 3 will come into picture. So we have seen that we can use a router on stick, right? We can use a router on a stick, and we can um, create the sub interfaces on the router, and we can have a communication between two different VLANs. So that's one option. The second option we have seen that layer 3 switch, that is also called multi-layer switch. Multi-layer switch. So what is multi-layer switch? It is like it does a switching as well as a routing, right? So it will have a MAC address table, and it will also have a routing table. So can someone tell me what is the command to enable a routing in multi-layer switch? Quickly, come on fast. What is the command? No one?
Router and the syntax IP.
IP routing. In the config terminal, there is a command IP routing which will enable the routing capability of the switch. Okay, then we talk about the routing, right? So in the routing, we have a static, then we have a default, and we have dynamic. So when we use the default routing, can someone tell me quickly?
Internet access के लिए.
Okay, internet, for internet, or the best answer I can say for unknown destination. Is that correct?
Sir, we don't know the IPs.
Right. So how about the static? When we use the static,
When we manually give the source and destination address.
for known destination, I can say. Okay, and dynamic. So in the
it work automatically.
what work on automatically?
Means switching, routing. Routing.
Dynamic routing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the dynamic routing, do you need to mention the destination networks?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Huh?
No, sir.
No, sir, no.
No, sir.
Yeah. So you just need to advertise your own routes. That's
Yes.
the dynamic routing. So we know like we have IGP and we have
EGP.
EGP.
EGPR.
Right.
EGP.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the protocols, like again, we further classify into distance vector protocol, then link state protocol, and advanced distance vector protocol. So in the distance vector protocol example is RIP, then link state protocol is OSPF, and advanced here we have EIGRP. Okay, and there is one for EGP, there is one protocol called BGP, border gateway protocol. Okay, so this is also called an internet protocol. So is
Sir,
anyone
BGP is a exterior routing protocol, na, sir?
right?
Yes.
So is anyone try BGP lab?
We tried but failed.
हमला ट्राई करे थे सादिफ भाई हम आयत बट OSPF तक आके रुक गए फिर EIGRP हो गया सर BGP वो हुआ
Okay, fine. So I think I have given you commands also, right? So you just need to configure the neighborship and then advertise the route. So router BGP AS number you need to identify, you need to specify and those things. Then we also talk about the subnetting, right? Subnetting. We had a separate lecture, and it is also recorded on the YouTube channel, so you can always go and refer that. So where we discuss like in very detail what is IPv4, okay, and what is its limitations, and then we talk about on top of routing there is something called NAT. Okay, NAT. So in the NAT again, how many types of NAT? See, no one is. I'm suspecting no one is doing practice.
Sir, it's three type static and last one is PAT.
Static, I guess dynamic
and PAT.
Yeah. So which one is used?
PAT, sir.
What is the acronym of PAT?
port translation.
The port address.
Yeah, port address
Port
translation.
address translation.
Many to one, sir.
No, it's
Right.
one to many.
Many to one.
One
It holds the IPv4.
many private. It translates all
Mhm.
the private addresses to one public address.
Very good. Many to
one.
many. सादिक भाई अभी आप जो आंसर दिए सिस्को आके मारता पकड़ दो. One to many.
Many to one बोला ना सर.
So one to many. Okay, that's fine. So see, if you look at here, see this all are the skills actually. These are nothing but you see it is on the page. I'm just trying to write. So these are the skills which you learn. So similarly, if you try to write down about the server administration, if you try to write down about the Linux computer hardware, so just try to write down on the pen and paper, like on the paper, then you will come to know how many things you learn here. Okay, so that's what. And no one will remember every technology, so the best way is create your own notes. Like what is VLAN? See, it will not. It's as I told, it's a one-time investment for your career. Okay, you just need what is VLAN. Just write the definition. Okay, and then command of the VLAN and what is the command to show VLAN. Then what is trunk? Command the definition of the trunk, then the CLI command, configuration of trunk, and the show command. So like this, prepare the notes. Other in the similarly here in the routing, what is static routing? See everything it is written in my PPT. At least take the printout of that PPT, prepare the book, and start reading that. No one. That's what. No one want to do any efforts on that. और आपको जो सो रियल टाइम डिवाइस के पीछे पड़े हुए हैं, रियल टाइम डिवाइस नहीं दिखाया बोलकर ये जो करने के काम है वो असल में नहीं कर रहे हम. Okay, and like can anyone tell me how many of you have the notes? How many of you
Sir, I
prepare
have.
the notes?
So I started preparing the once I have done with VTP and STP.
No.
Routing start
Do you
करना है
have
sir.
complete? That's I'm talking about. Is anyone have a
No,
complete notes?
Yes, sir.
Nahid, you
मेरे पास है.
very good. So I definitely want to see that. And don't give that notes to anyone, please. Let everyone prepare their own notes, because
Okay.
preparing notes is nothing but a preparation of the interview. So that's what I want you guys to please go and attend some interviews, so you will come to know where you stand today. Class mein, like attending class and just understand, like listening to class, it will not give you the job. I'm telling you. You need to understand, because in the interview you need to answer. So that's what, like, what is static routing? Just write down some key points, what you understand, then command of the static routing, and what is the command to see the routing table. So like this, prepare the notes. It will, I'm telling you, if you spend time, hardly it would 3 to 4 hours, within 2 to 3 hours, you will able to prepare your own notes. And it's a one-time investment. And tomorrow, if anyone call you for the interview, just go and read this book, note your own notes, and go for the interview. It will help you a lot. Similarly, prepare for the server administration, prepare for the computer hardware networking, prepare for the Linux. Okay, so because this is very important. Apart, if you don't do that, like no one can help you if you don't prepare those things. Okay, then there is one more advanced topic, is called as a ACL. Okay, so what is ACL? The first thing is, let me show you something on the pen. Okay, are you able to see the pen on the desktop?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So now, as you know, the routing, like you have connected multiple offices, okay, and you connected with the WAN connectivity, okay, and you have a LAN here. All the switching is running here, although in the WAN technology, all the see, one more thing, routing protocols are they are not only running here. Routing protocol also run from between your router and the core switch, with your firewall and the core switch. So routing protocol can run any place, okay, when you want to, and you need a layer 3 device, as you know. So you can, this guy can send routes here, this guy can send routes here. So like this, it works. So now see, with the routing protocol, what will happen? Let's say this is your A, this is your B network, this is your C network, okay. And when you have a full routing table, so any machine from network A can reach to any machine in the network B. Any machine of network B can reach to any machine of network C. Why? Because it's a router behavior. Because what router will see, what is, do I have in the routing table, it should have A, B, and C routes. Okay, it will look for, do I have entry of A, do I have entry of B, do I have entry of C? Yes, then let's allow them. So a router don't have that capability to, because see, it's a built-in nature. Like switch, it understand the MAC address, router understand the routing table. That's it. Okay, so now what happened later on, the situation came where you want, like in the A network, there is one machine called A1 machine. We don't want this A1 machine to go to B network. See, I'm talking about this specific machine. We want this, let's say the 99% of network, the machine from A, they can go anywhere, but I want to restrict this particular machine. How can I do that? Similarly, this C network, okay, this C network, we don't want C network talk to A network. Okay, we want a communication between C and B only, because we don't we have a business between B and C only. But A is connected here. As you know, the routing protocol is running, right? So this router will also share the routes here. Then this router will also allow that traffic. So we want to restrict this C network should not come here. Okay, so how we can achieve that? That's why the ACL came into picture. ACL. Okay, what is the acronym of this one? Access control list. Access control list. What is access control list? So you can permit and deny the traffic based on source and destination IP addresses. Okay, so what is the source and destination IP address? Let's say the A1 is a source and B is a destination. Okay, so let's say this is the source and this is the destination. And what is your ask? Your ask is, we want this source A should not come to network B. So A becomes source and this become destination. So here we need to, in the ACL, we need to understand what is the source, what is the destination. Okay, based on that, you need to write the rule there. Let's say, so what you need to do, you need to create a policy here. You need to say that deny, let's say A1. Okay, then you need to say allow all. So it is same like a traffic police. Okay, like you are like sitting one of the person here, and you have given a list to that guy. Okay, and he's sitting here where it is saying it is sitting on this place. He is checking everyone. Okay, allow everyone. See, he has two rules: allow all. So he is just trying to allow all. The moment A try to hit here, it will see, wait, you are deny, boss. Sorry, you know you're not allowed. So it will drop that traffic. Rest all the traffic will allow. Why? Because it has the allow. So this control is called as a ACL. ACL. Okay, so what is this is the high level of the ACL. Like why this came? ACL to permit and deny the traffic. Okay, so let's have a look on the some theoretical stuff. Okay, so ACL. So by considering the theory which I provided, so let's have a look on here. So ACL is a set of rule which will allow or deny the specific traffic moving through the router. It is a layer 3 security which control the flow of traffic from one router to another router. It is also called as a packet filtering firewall. See, it is also called as a packet filtering firewall. ACL is nothing but a firewall only. You know, the firewall, like I think in last lecture I talk about this. The firewall, when you talk about the firewall, switches, router, and firewall, the firewall is the device. So what happened is, Cisco first created the ACL. Okay, then what happened? The router was getting burdened because a router need to take care of the routing. Router also need to take care of the logging and management, everything. Parallelly, router also looking for the packet filtering. For every packet when it comes, so router need to check the ACL and to do that. So lot of resources was getting utilized from the router hardware. That's why what happened is Cisco, not only Cisco, they came up with the product called firewall. Okay, take the firewall. Firewall will take care of all your policies, whom to allow, whom to deny, all permit, deny, everything, because it is a dedicated device as a firewall. And they came up with, and also see, the router will not see who is talking to whom. Like let's say source A is trying to reach to source B. So router don't have that capability to understand who is talking to whom. So when the Cisco created a firewall, so they come up with a new feature called packet inspection, or that is also called as a stateful inspection. So it will keep a track. A is talking to B, so it will be maintaining a separate table, MAC table, a routing table, And now the third table is called as a session table, which maintained by firewall. So remember, guys, this is now you may say, I always tell like everything is important only. This is important. Yes, this is important, and everything is important actually. Okay, so now we know switch. Now we know a router and the firewall. So these are the three different hardwares. Okay, and every hardware do a specific role. Switch L2, as you know, if you take a multi-layer switch, then obviously it will be having a capability of router plus switch. L3, it is a router, and firewall is a L4 device. Okay, nowadays next generation firewalls, they are L4 next generation firewall. They L7 firewall also came, so they have a capability to understand the application. So switch maintain CAM table, router maintain routing table, and the firewall maintain a session table, or it is also called stateful inspection firewall. Okay, so why the, if you want to learn the firewall, okay, if you want to learn the firewall, so can you please go mute? Someone is disturbing. If you're not talking, please go on mute. Okay, so the first thing, ACL came into picture. Then the next version of ACL is nothing but the firewall. So please try to understand the relation of ACL. Why the ACL came to control the traffic. Okay, actually, as I said, every time the people want more, right? लूप आया बोले रोने लगे STP आया बोले, फिर उसका बोले स्पीड ही नहीं है उसका, फिर उसके अंदर और स्पीड आई, फिर उसके बाद बोले क्या रे, एक लिंक डाउन रह रही, एक लिंक STP ब्लॉक कर दे रहा, वी वांट मोर स्पीड, ईथर चैनल आया, राइट? स्टैटिक राउटिंग आया, स्टैटिक उसको बोले, फिर उसके लिमिटेशंस है, फिर डिफॉल्ट आया, डिफॉल्ट में पूरा सिक्योरिटी की प्रॉब्लम्स है. Okay, डायनामिक है. Okay, then RIP, no, RIP is very slow. Okay, take the OSPF. No, OSPF is very complex. Oh यार, क्या करना क्या? Cisco बोला, let's do one thing. Let's take the easiness of the RIP and take the easiness of the OSPF, and they build a EIGR. BGP, it's a biggest protocol, but very slow. Okay, so everywhere the problem. Then what happened? The people ask, IP addresses are getting finished. We need some solution. NAT came into picture. Static, no, static is not good. We cannot purchase static. Dynamic, no, dynamic also no. PAT, okay, PAT is good. So there is a full stop there. PAT, there is a full stop there. Why? Because it fixed the solution. Then what happened? Now we have a switching, routing, all the protocols are working, every communication is done. Now we want to block one source to one destination. So we need a solution. So ACL came into picture. Then the next ask was ACL. Okay, ACL is good. ACL is doing its work, but we कितना अच्छा रहता कि अगर हमको ये ट्रैफिक भी मालूम हो कि A is talking to B. कितना अच्छा रहता कि we need to, like, we should come to know that Liaqat bhai, he is accessing the Google. Harsh is accessing some FTP server. So from source to destination, कितना अच्छा रहता कि हमको जैसे वो मालूम हो. So then again the people again think यार ये लोग तो रोना बंद नहीं कर रहे, ये लोग तो चालू है. Then ACL, then they created a dedicated device that is called a firewall. So ACL is nothing but a firewall in the router itself. Okay, so it is called a packet filtering firewall. Okay, so ACL, there are two types. Okay, the ACL means either you can give a name to the ACL or you can give a number to the ACL. Okay, so standard ACL, extended ACL. Standard ACL, there is like you can say it was used in 90s and 80s. Okay, 80s I can say. 1980. So when it was started, actually it started with the standard ACL. फिर उसके बाद लोग बोले नहीं यार स्टैंडर्ड ACL में प्रॉब्लम है, क्या करना है अभी. Then next version came as a extended ACL. फिर लोग बोले कि यार नंबर नहीं रखना चाहिए, हमको नंबर से प्रॉब्लम हो रहा. ओके ठीक है, नाउ दे अपग्रेडेड अगेन. ओके, यूज द नेम टू द ACL. फिर नेम में फिर आप स्टैंडर्ड और एक्सटेंडेड यू कैन यूज इट. सो व्हाट इज द difference in standard and extended? Let's see that. Okay, so before jumping that, let's understand the terminology. Deny means what? Blocking a network, host, subnet or service. Okay, that is you. It is completely deny. It will block. Permit means allowing any network, any host, subnet and service. Source address, the address of the PC from where the request start. Source, as I said, source is A, he is trying to start. Destination address, the B network, that is the destination, right? Inbound traffic coming into the interface. Let's say this router. Okay, so if say okay, so let's say this is A network, this is B network. Okay, so when A network come, it will hit the interface. So this is the interface where it will in. So I can say on this interface, the traffic coming into the interface is called inbound traffic. See, it's an inbound traffic. And when B is trying to go to A, then it will exit this interface. Then it is called outbound traffic. Guys, please try to understand out and in. So see, every interface, let's say this is the router. Sorry. So this let's say this is sorry. This is the router. So every router interface, it should be in and out traffic. Okay, in means something is coming into the interface, something is going out to the interface, right? So this understanding is important while creating the ACL. Okay, that's why inbound and outbound, something is coming, so traffic coming into the interface, that is inbound traffic. Outbound traffic going out of the interface is called outbound traffic. Okay, so is it clear? Yes, it is clear. So rules of access list. Okay, so there are some rules. All deny statements. See, access list is nothing but the firewall. Okay, all the deny statement had to be given first. Okay, there should be at least one permit statement. Okay, so what does it mean is, let's say on the router. Okay, so this is the security guard. Okay, and your router is here. So let's say this security guard is nothing but the ACL. Okay, so to this guard you need to say a list of rule. Okay, so first you can say okay, and whenever you create the ACL, there is something called implicit deny. Implicit deny means by default everything, any to any will be denied. Okay, let's say for example you deny something, deny host A, that's a rule number 1. And after that you did not write any rule. What will happen? Not only A, the entire network will get denied. Why? Because there is an implicit deny here. So that's why the first rule is, whenever you say deny should be on top, then you should have allow statement. Deny A ko karo, baki sabko allow karo. That you need to say. Deny and allow. Okay, so if you, that's what ACL is very dangerous. Okay, it will control the traffic, also it will break your traffic also. Okay, so as per the sequence order. Okay, and this ACL, let's say in the ACL you can have 10 lines, 10 lines ho sakte. So what the ACL will work on top to bottom, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So let's say for example, let's see who will answer. So you have in ACL you have some 10 rules. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5, like this 10 rules are there. Okay, and all these rules are allowed. Okay, from 2 all this rule allow this source to destination, this source destination, and on the top there is the first rule is actually the deny any source to any destination. Can someone tell me, will this rule number 2, 3, 4 will it use?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
As I told, the ACL work on top to the bottom. So
No,
in
no,
the
sir.
Work
security
in sequential order is not there, sir.
the security guard, you are saying that don't allow anyone, so he will obey that first order. उसके बाद आप बोल रहे हैं कि इसको allow करो, इसको allow करो, so he will deny everything, because in the first rule itself you are saying बहुत obedient रहता हूँ, ACL यानी बहुत obedient. Okay, so that's one. Editing editing access list is not possible. That is also one of the disadvantages. But in firewall, editing rule is possible. See, आप हर चीज you cannot expect everything in the router itself. So Cisco बोला कि भाई आपको edit भी होना है, आपको visibility होना है, okay, and you want more control, then please buy firewall and use it. आपको जो से एक राउटर ले रहे, एक राउटर के अंदर स्विच होना बोल रहे हो, ये भी कर, वो भी कर, ये भी कर, नहीं होता, not possible. That's a thing. So ACL, okay, see, this is the one of the examples. So this is like a guard on the interface. ACL is nothing but a security guard on the interface. So you are saying deny this guy, deny this guy, then permit this guy, permit this guy, permit, then permit all, and in the last always there is a deny all. So it will follow the instruction like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. So let's say in the first statement only you say deny all. What does it mean? It will deny everyone. Or in the first statement only what you say is, you said allow all, और उसके बाद आप क्या कर रहे हैं, deny this guy, deny this guy. Will it work? No, because if you allow in the first rule you are saying allow all, so it will allow everyone, so the rest of the rule will never use. Okay, list is read from top to bottom. Okay, stops at first match, invisible implicit deny at the bottom. ACL is applied on the interface, inbound or outbound. So where to apply ACL? See, ACL you can apply either here, or there will be one other interface, right, which will go down. So you can apply here. So if suppose something is coming from here, so it will be in. Okay, if something is going out, then it will be out here. But to this interface, something is coming in, it will be in, and it will, something is going out, it will be out, something like this. In, out, in, out. Okay. So wildcard mask, as you know, we use in OSPF. It is like a global subnet mask. Can you please mute? Okay, so okay, so wildcard mask is nothing but a global subnet mask minus a subnet mask. Then that will be your wildcard mask. So in the ACL we use a wildcard mask. Okay, so standard access list and extended access list. What is the difference? Access list, the range is from between 1 to 99. Extended access list 100 to 199. Standard access list can block network, host, or subnet. Host and subnet. Guys, remember this one: network, host, and subnet. But extended access list, network, host, subnet, and service also you can block. Like, see, always say standard is the first ACL, then the advanced version is extended. Then extended means obviously it will give you some more features, right? So that is the that's the one. So for example, okay, two-way communication is stopped. Can you see this standard ACL? Let's say you're trying to block A, A machine should not go to B machine. So if you use the standard ACL, B will not come to A will not come to B. So the both communication will stop. But in the extended, one-way communication is stopped. If your task is A should not talk to B, but B can talk to A. So that can be achieved in extended ACL. Okay. Next is all services are blocked. Here you are directly blocking a network or host. But here you can block a specific service. Let's say port HTTP, HTTPS. So like this services you can block. कंप्लीट आईपी टू आईपी ब्लॉक नहीं कर रहे आप, आपको जो सो स्पेसिफिक उसमें से कोई चीज एक ब्लॉक करना है. लेट्स से we don't want this guy to web browse. Web browse is nothing but the port 80. So you can specific this source to this destination with that particular port you can block. So extended is very selective. Okay. Then implement closest to the destination. This is very important. Implement closest to the source. A standard ACL, you need to implement always on the closest to the destination. Filtering is done based on only source IP address. Here, the filtering is done based on port number. Okay, so standard ACL, extended ACL. So let's go, and when you see the lab, you will get more clarity on that. So I have a packet tracer here. Okay, before I move to the lab, let me stop my sharing. Can everyone please open the camera? I want to see kitne log so rahe, kitne log. Okay, Nahid is sitting with pen and paper. That's good. Shoaib also. Yeah, Ayat also. Bhaiya ji and Mubin sir is there. Okay. Okay, बाकी सारे लोग शायद सो रहे हैं. Okay. What about others? Anas, you only message me. You only message sir online low बोलकर. Otherwise today I had a plan to come there. Okay. Okay. So okay, that's fine. So let's thank you for showing the visibility. का भैया जी का बोल रहे हो?
नहीं अभी जा रहे. We are talking about Liaquat bhai.
Okay, Liaquat bhai, yes, he is very regular. Okay, so please go on mute. So let's go and let me share my screen. Okay. So let me pick the routers. Two routers I picked. Then I need two switches. Or the Giga Ethernet. Okay. So I can use any of the interface. Let's say first 0x1. So I'm using Giga's 0x0. Then here also I will use 1 to Giga 0x0. Okay. Then I will use the straight cable because both are the same. Cross cable because both are the same devices. Okay. Then to perform the ACL, as I said, like ACL will work on top of the routing. First, you need to do the routing, then only ACL will work. So you need to do this all thing once. So what I'm doing is like this one PC I will use, and let me pick a server here. Okay. And here I will use any port because we want VLAN 1 only. We don't want multiple VLANs and all, because it will make your lab complex. So what you need to achieve, that is very important. So let's say 192.168.10.10. This is the machine, and your server is 192.168.10. 20.10. So what we need to do is first we need to make a communication possible between these two networks, because as you know, this is site A, this is a site B. Okay, and you know there is a WAN connectivity here. Okay, and consider like all the switching technologies will work here. So first we need to make a routing enable. So 192.168.10.10 can talk to 192.168.20.10. Okay, first we need to make a communication enable, then we will apply the ACL. Okay, so for communication, obviously I need to go one by one and prepare this my lab. So IP address 192.168.10.10.
10.
192.168.10.1. And here server desktop IP address 192.168.20.10, and gateway is 192.168.20.1. This will be my gateway. Okay, then I no need to do anything on the switches. So let's go and configure the router. So in the router, I will go to the CLI. Okay, just say no. Then enable config terminal. Let's say host name is Hyderabad. Okay. Then do show IP interface brief. So I will say, okay, there are two interfaces. So let me configure interface Giga Ethernet 0x0 as my gateway. So I can put a description HYD LAN, I can say. Okay, and I can say IP address 192.168.10.1, 255.255.255.0. Then I will say no shutdown. Okay, then exit. Then you can say 0x1. Then description is Hyderabad WAN. Okay, and IP address I can take another network like 192.168.30
Sir.
dot. That's a WAN. To show history. Can you see here? I can see all the configuration here. I can become little bit lazy here. Okay, and if I say okay, so I will go here and I will say one of my interface will be, let's say this is Dubai LAN, Dubai WAN. So it will be 20.1 and here it will be 30.2, and I need obviously config terminal. Then I need a host name also. Host name. I can say Dubai RTR. Then okay, so these all things. So I will just copy this. I will put this guy. CLI. Then say no. Enable. And here I can just paste my commands. Boom. Okay, so now if I go back, show IP interface brief. Okay, so I still see 30.2 is down because can you see administratively down? Because we in the command we did not, I think we forgot to say no shutdown. See, we put no shutdown here, but we did not put no shutdown here. 1 second. 1 second. 1 minute, guys. So I was disturbed. I got disturbed with my wife. So, as you know, work from home is always a lot of disturbance. Okay, so now I'm fine here. Show IP. Okay, I need to no shutdown that config terminal interface Giga Ethernet 051 no shutdown. Okay, done. So our basic configuration is done here. Okay, we have everything is in place. You can also write memory this guy. Okay, so now can someone tell me, can 192.168 talk to 20? Can this guy machine talk to server? Yes, no.
No, sir.
Yes.
कौन बोला
Yes,
yes? Yes कौन बोला?
No, sir. No, no.
Hey, yes बोला कौन, सामने आओ जरा.
मैं बोली
तफियाबाजी.
Okay, sir. नहीं, मेरे को लगा
अभी कनेक्टिविटी हो गई सर पूरी.
68.20 dot होता पिंग होता.
नहीं, कनेक्टिविटी ओके हो गई सर.
हाँ, then what you need?
अभी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन जो भी करना है वो ACL
Destination host.
What is missing here? Can someone tell me? I need a proper answer. What is missing?
Destination.
The first thing is, can I say the routing is missing here?
Yes,
Because
sir.
these two networks you want to connect,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you don't have a routing there. Then how the communication will happen? Then give me that answer. You tell me that a routing is missing here. So let me use any routing. Let's say easy वाला ले लेंगे. Config terminal router RIP ले लेता हूँ.
All right.
I like RIP very much. Network 192.168.10.0 network 192.168.30.0. Done. We go to Dubai. Network, sorry, router RIP network 192.168.20.0 and network 192.168.30.0. Done. So now show IP route. So if I go here and check,
Not comes.
okay, can you see here? I
Yes.
got the 10 now.
Yes.
Okay, so now let me try to ping this guy. I was unable to ping. Okay, it was saying destination host unreachable. Now okay, so as you know, you can always see tracert how it is going. 20.10, right? So by the first it is going to its own gateway, then it will go to Hyderabad, sorry, Dubai in interface, then it will go to the final destination. Okay, so this is how the communication is happening. And can this server talk to that machine? Let me see. Ping 192.168.10.10. Yes.
Yes.
So the two-way communication is happening, right? Also, see, when I say this is the server, so there are some features in the server. So if I go to the services, so can you see the by default HTTP is on? Okay, HTTP is on. Even HTTP is also on. And there is some default page also given here. Okay, so if I want to test that, see what I can do. I can go to this machine. Okay, go to the browser. Okay, यहाँ पे just say HTTP, like how we access the website 192.168.20.10. Okay, let's say 192.168.20.10. Okay, can you see this? 192. So I got this web page. This web page is actually on the server. It is hosted on the server. So I'm able to access. See, who is accessing? This machine from this machine, because you are in the network, you have a connectivity. This machine is accessing the web page on this server, right? How you're accessing? Just a browser. But if you notice, generally we don't put the IP addresses. आपको अगर याद होगा, like if I ask you, भाई Google की जगह 4.2.3.4 HTTPS ये डालो बोलते याद रहेगा क्या? It will not remember that, because human mind, we don't remember the numbers. Okay, so we need a names. So that's why the DNS came into picture. So DNS is something, you know what we need to do is, DNS is nothing but a service. भाई कौन है जरा म्यूट पे जाओ. Thank you. Okay, so DNS is nothing but a service. So if you look at here, this is a DNS service on the server. So what we need to do? So first thing, you need to on the service. So the same thing you can see in Active Directory server, you can do these all services. Okay, so you need to switch on the service. Okay, and in the Active Directory you can configure the DNS. So here in the packet tracer also they have given, you can run few of the services, like HTTP is on, so you can do the web browsing. Okay, now DNS service. So what I can do is I can on it, and what I want is, let's say I will say XY, let's say PSF skills.com. Okay, so let's keep one word only, psfskills.com. And what is the address? 192.168.20.10. Okay, so on this address, on this server address, my website is hosted. Okay, and it's a record. So what I can do is I can just add it. Okay, add and save. Should not be okay. I already added that. So that's done. So service is on. So what I need to do in the generally in the DNS in our machine, if you go to IP configuration, you always see an option here, DNS server. So we need to make that server as a DNS 192.168.20.10. So that server, like see, in every organization you can have a separate DNS server, you can have separate web server, separate like various servers. So now in this server I'm mentioning this is my server 20.10. Okay, so now I will go to the browsing back in the machine only, and here I will say psf skills.com. Can you see this? Here we go. So this is the first service. Like what we did, we DNS we resolve the IP address to the hostname. So how we did that? So if you go to the CLS command prompt, and just try to do here, okay, ns lookup. Okay, so can you see it is saying that in the ns lookup this is your DNS server. Now tell me what is you want. So I want psf skills.com is what? Can you see it's saying psfskills.com is actually a 192.168.20.10, right? If I go here on the real time, see, I'm going to the real time. This is my real time machine. So this is my actual CMD. Okay, so this is my actual CMD. So the same thing will happen here. See here, what I'm doing is, can I ping to the 4.2.2.2? Yes, I can ping. Let me see ns lookup. So I want to see what is behind that IP address, or I want to see what is the IP address of the facebook.com. So when I say facebook.com, okay, can you see 157.240.250.53, 35? So this is the facebook.com. So now tell me how this facebook.com name came into picture. So to that server, this is actually the server where the Facebook page is landed. So that server, you need to go to the DNS service and you need to define this IP address will called with this name. So this is what the example here is. PSF Skills Academy, psfskills.com is mapped with this IP address. Got it? This is very important concept. DNS, domain name services, IP to name, name to IP. Any questions here?
So along with IP address, we need to define the name as also in DNS.
If there is no DNS, and just think about accessing Google is nothing but something like this. You need to say, you need to remember the IP address. आप पूछना पड़ता था Facebook का IP दियो जरा, Twitter का IP दियो, WhatsApp का IP दो, ऐसा. Because of the DNS, you're resolving that IP address is mapped to that particular name. So name can be remembered, right? Google, we remember the Google, but you don't remember. See, Facebook, we remember. Do you remember this one? 157.240.240.35. No, that's why the DNS came into picture. DNS is name to IP. It's the resolution. And where we do that, we do the DNS on the server, Active Directory server. So in this example, in this server, what I did is in the service, I on the DNS service, and here I created a record. This is called a record. So like this, you can create n number of records. Okay, you can create n number of records here. Okay. Yeah, so that's one thing. So now, actually, I was showing you ACL. Then I diverted to the DNS. Why? Because this is also one of the important topic which I wanted to discuss. So that's what I set up this one. So now see this machine. So now try to understand. See, when you have a routing, so this machine, they are what is the role of the server? There are many servers will be there in the offices. Okay, this servers will do a lot of work. So one part we have seen, you can host the web page, internal web page. You can host the DNS. Second, so two services we have seen: HTTP, HTTPS, and the DNS. Three services we have seen. Okay, so now let's talk about the ACL. So what I want is, now the task is, see, maybe this this network. Let me add one more PC here. Okay, and okay, and let me give the IP address 192.168.10.11. Let's see this guy. Stop. IP address 192.168.10.11. Then obviously 192.168.10.1. And also I can give the DNS also 192.168.20.10. So DNS server, whoever the server where the DNS service is running, so that IP address you need to mention in the DNS place. Okay, so now can this machine talk to the server?
Yes, sir.
Ping 192.168.20.10. Yes, it can. So one thing we notice, like these two machines, like I can say this LAN, the Hyderabad LAN is talking to Dubai LAN. So now my task is I don't want this machine 192.168.10.10 as a source. This is a source, should not come to this destination. The network is my destination. Okay, how can I achieve that? So the first thing, I need to write a rule. Okay, so let's say first standard ACL. So we will see the limitation of the standard ACL. The standard ACL, always we need to create near to the destination. So this is our source and this is our destination. So what is the destination router? This router is a destination router. So I will go and create ACL on Dubai router. Okay, so how I'm going to create? 2 steps. Okay, so what I will say, config terminal, I will say access list, give the number. See, if you say I need to give number one between 1 to 99, so it will be standard ACL. So I will say 10, access list 10. What do you want? Permit, deny. 2 things you can do, or remarks also you can put. So what I want first deny. Okay, but access list deny. Question mark. To whom? So I can say host. See, if you are considering a single host, you can use the host. So I want to deny host 192.168.10.10. Okay, question mark. See, that's end actually. So you are directly defining भाई इसको ये 192.168.10.10 को deny कर दो. Okay, so this is my first access list. Now in the same access list, which is the number is 10, so you need to have a second entry. Deny कर दिया, उसके बाद then you need to say permit any. कि भाई सिर्फ उसको ब्लॉक करो, बाकी सबको अलाउ करो. So if I go and check my access list, show access list 10. So can you see the rule will be something like this? This is my first rule. This is my table. First rule is deny host and second rule is permit any. Okay. So now the second of first you need to create the ACL. Now you need to apply ACL on the interface. So I have 2 interface, show IP interface brief. So which is the closest interface to the destination? This LAN is the closest destination, closest, right? So now look at in the diagram, when this machine come 192.168.10.10, so how it will reach to the 20.10? First it will go to the gateway to this, then finally it will go here. So to this interface 0 by 0, the traffic will be in or out. Can you tell me? Can someone tell me? On this interface, this traffic, this source machine traffic will be in or out?
Inbound.
Right, inbound. So what I will do, I will go to config terminal, I will go to interface giga ethernet 0 by 0, and I will say IP access group. You need to say access group. What is the number? 10. Sorry. 10 in. You need to define what is this. This is in. Done. So you have defined the ACL. Now let's go back. Let's go to this machine. And not try to, okay. See, remember this command also, ns lookup. Whenever you want to see the IP to name conversion, then ns lookup is the command. Ping, traceroute, and the ns lookup. These are the three weapons. These are the three bread and butters of network, guys. Ping, traceroute, and ns lookup. भाई गरीब लोग हैं हम लोग, बस ये तीन चीजें दे दो हमको, बस काम कर लेंगे ऐसा. Okay. Now let's see. Ping, can I 492.168.20.10. Ping is sorry. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So if it is allowing, then let's see our access list. Show access list. Okay. So the match is, it's hitting there. 192.168.10.10. So one thing is, let me change that. On the interface, oops, let me say out. And you try to access this guy. Here we go. Can you see? Destination host unreachable. Now blocking. The ACL is blocking there. Why out is, see, the traffic is coming from here to this interface. Giga 0 by 0, it will in. But to 0 by 0, it will out. देखो ये एक डोर है, ये एक डोर है, यहाँ से इन होके यहाँ से आउट हो रहा हो. So that's why I put the out. Now the traffic is denied. See, I'm unable to reach this 192.168.10.10. It's unable to reach 192.168.20.10. So what is the standard ACL? This source is blocked to this destination. But can we see this machine? Can it still talk to this guy? Let's see. That will be the good test. So I will go here and boom. Can you see? The only one machine is blocked. That's the beauty of ACL. And if I go back on the router and if I see here, show access list. Can you see here? You are able to see how many matches. See this rule, like this machine, 4 times it tried to reach to that destination. Not destination, it tried to reach here. So we are mentioning a source here and we are trying to configure it on the closest destination, right? So here the important thing is, what is the source, what is the destination? Okay, so you got it right. So 10.10. Okay, so now let's say, for example, I want to block this machine also. Now I don't want 192.168.10.11 to come to 192.168.20.10. So can someone guide me here? What ACL I need to write here? See, it will be the same ACL only. Show access list 10. This is the ACL only. So now आपको फिर से add rule add करना. So can someone guide me, please? भाई है वहां पर, सो गए लोग?
यस सर, है सर.
Yes, sir.
फिर guide का मेरे को बोलो यहाँ पे मैं I want to block like how I block 10.10, right? I want to block 10.11. So what I will do, I will go to config
Access
terminal,
list.
access list 10 deny
IP address.
192.168.10.11. Okay, you allow. Okay, now look at the access list. Show access list. Okay, now can you tell me one thing? Can 192.168.10.11 block now? The
No,
table.
sir.
Why?
Because you have to write the another command, permit any.
Deny के बाद allow भी लिखना है. Allow all.
Right. See, the first thing is deny. The second is actually we are permitting any. So it will catch all rule. So this rule will never ever work. Why? Because always you need to define the deny on the first. So how can I achieve that? So you need to say access list. See, that's the problem actually. Deny, when I say deny. So that's the problem with the access list. ACL, standard ACL. Like you cannot modify. एक बार create कर दिए ना उसको आप निकाल नहीं सकते. So the only option is you need to write again some further 10. आपको rule क्या करना पड़ता है अभी? Let's say deny 192 dot. Okay, again it will go in the down, right? So एक ही option
Clear the list.
no access list करो पहले, right? अभी आप चलो पूरी access list चले गई आपकी. You clear the list. So अभी क्या करो फिर से अब यहाँ पे बोलो deny, sorry, access list 10 deny 192.168.10.10. Then उसके बाद then you say 10.11. Then say access list 10 permit any. Done. And now look at here. So access list. देखो deny then permit.
Yes.
So now if you go and try to if this guy try to access, not see, it's blocked now. And see, can you who is blocking? 192.168.30.2. So it's the router itself is blocking. So now if you look at here, show access list. So can you see only this guy tried, right? So we see a 4 match. 10.10 we haven't tried. So I can try now. So the moment I see, I can see the hits here. See, 4 match. And permit any, if I want to see that permit any. So let me try to ping from the router, this Hyderabad router. Let me ping 192.168.20.10. Yes, I am able to ping. Why Hyderabad router is able to ping? Because in we have a access like this match. See, 10 match. So you understand, right? In standard ACL, you cannot edit it, and the two-way communication will get blocked. And see this server, if you from the server, if you try to access those machines, ping 192.168.10.10. See, block. यानी आप रास्ता एक बंद कर रहे, दो like two-way communication is getting blocked. So this is a complete standard ACL, which has a limitation that both way traffic will get blocked. Second limitation is ACL cannot be edited or modified. You need to remove it and write it down again. See, it's not allowing. See, two-way communication. And why it is happening? If you go and check on the access list, see these matches are getting increased. because we deny host. So if anyone, even 10.10 is coming or someone is going to 10.10, all the traffic will be denied. That's the problem with this ACL, standard ACL. Understand? So can you please switch on your video and show me that you are with me? समझ में आया अनस? एक्सेस लिस्ट?
हाँ सर, थोड़े डाउट से वो एक बार देख लेके हम क्लियर कर लेते हैं इंशाल्लाह.
ओके, शोएब. Shoaib, how about you? Okay, so Ayat.
Yes, sir.
So you're getting right, understand?
Yes, yes, I'm getting it.
And how about Harsh?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, समझ में आया ACL?
हाँ, sir.
Standard ACL? Okay, perfect. So let's extended ACL is nothing, it is the same, it is just a next version. Like what are the limitations there? So we are going to solve those limitations. So let me go back here. So now what I'm going is in the Dubai router config terminal, I will just say no access list 10. Done. Then again I will go to interface fast Ethernet, sorry, Giga Ethernet 0x0, and I will say no access, sorry, no, what was that command? Do show, sorry, no access group, I think access group 10 out. Show run, let me see, show run. When this is the command. Okay, see this command, actually I need to remove this one, this both. So IP access group, then what I will do, I will go to config terminal. Oops, ये क्या हो गया यार? Where I am in Dubai. Sorry. Show run. Sorry. Okay. 0x0 I still have. So what I will do, config terminal, interface Giga Ethernet 0x0. I will say no IP access group 10 in and also out. So I had two commands there, so I removed that. So now see, I removed the ACL completely. So let's go and try to test. So from 192.168 10.0, can I reach? Yes, I can reach to 20.10, and from 10.10, can I able to browse that psfskill.com? Let me see. psfskills.com. Yes, I can reach there. So see, the HTTP means port 80. Okay, and when you say HTTPS, so it will be port 443. So what is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS is? HTTP is a less secure, HTTP is a more secure, and you will have a dedicated certificate for that. So when you learn some about the application and in the real time, so you will come to know what is the use of. So this port, protocol, IP address, source, destination, network, subnetwork. See, these all are the terminologies we need to deal every day. Ping, tracer. Yeah. This. Okay, ping, tracer, and NS lookup, DNS. These all are our pieces. Okay, so now let's use the extended ACL. So what is the difference here is, see, standard ACL Okay, what is the source? Source is this one. What is the destination? Dubai. Hyderabad is the source, destination is the Dubai. So what we did, we applied ACL, standard ACL closest to the destination. We applied here. But now extended ACL is a reverse one. Extended ACL has to be configured nearest to the source. Hyderabad is the source, nearest source. So I will use extended ACL here. Okay, I will not configure here. I will configure extend ACL here, and I can apply on 0 by 0 as a in. Okay, we'll see that in, or you can apply that Giga Ethernet 0 by 1 as a out. Okay, in or out, you थोड़ा practice करेगा आप समझ में आएगा. Like do the mistakes there, then you will learn. अब आप एक ही लेक्चर में आप हर चीज समझना चाह रहे हैं, पूरी दुनिया समझ जाना और नौकरी मिल जाना उसमें होता. Okay, now I'm in Hyderabad device. So let me see if any access list there. No access list. I will say config terminal access list. Okay, now extended I'm trying to use, right? So I will say 150. This is my extended access list. Question mark. What it is saying? First we will to deny. Deny what? See, can you see here? I'm getting this all option. In standard, you will not see the option. Directly, you can deny host, network, or subnet. But here you can deny a protocol. You can deny a port, a IP, a network, TCP, UDP. You can have more control on that. Okay. So I will say, let's say first, I want IP to be allowed, but I don't want let's say browsing. I want browsing to be blocked there. Okay, let's not make that complex. But let's say access list 150 deny. What I want IP. Let's say IP. Okay, what is the source? I can say host 192.168.10.10. Question mark. See, this is still, you need to say specify the destination in the extended. In extended ACL, you need to specify the destination also. So I will say host again 192.168.20.10. See, access list 150 deny IP ye host. This host cannot talk to this host. In standard ACL, it will deny everything, any network. But here you are specifying what to deny, whom to deny with whom. Okay, that's my first rule. So I just added deny. Then obviously I need to add in the access list 150 permit. I need to say IP any. Deny isko karo, बाकी सबको block karo. I am saying. Okay, now where to apply it? Apply on the interface. Interface Giga Ethernet 0 by 0. I will say IP access group 150. Traffic will in. Done. Let's see. Let's try this guy. See, blocking. Just now, a few minutes back, it was able to ping. Now it's blocking. Destination is blocking. Okay, and the same thing when this guy trying to access the same machine server, yes, it's allowing. So if I go back here on the access list and check show access list, so can you see here? So this is the extended ACL where you are seeing what is the match and all. Okay, and let's see, is it block the two-way communication or not? So let me go here from the server. Let me try to ping 196 or 10.10. It should not, technically it should not block. .10. Let me see 10.11. 10.11 is coming. Okay, so now the another thing I want to show you, the modification, the ACL. Let's say you want to block also 10.11. So how you can do that? Config terminal. Access list. Okay, 150 question mark. I will say IP access list extended. What is the number? 150. Right? See, I'm going inside the ACL now. See, this is a granular control of the extended ACL, and here I can put the question, see, sequence number. So if you look at here in my ACL, how many sequence number I have? If I go back, check. Okay, see, sequence number 10 is a deny, 20 is a permit, right? So I can write a 15 just below this one. Okay, so what I will do is I will just take this IP host, right? Okay, so let me write it. So as a 15 I can use. So I can say 15. Okay, deny. What to deny? I want to deny IP host 192.168.10.11 with whom? With host 192.168.20.10. Done. So now go back and check the access list. Show access list. Can you see here? Was it possible in the ACL, standard ACL? No. The extended ACL is more powerful than the standard ACL. So now in the one ACL only, without deleting anything, we just modified that, and you can see it is also blocked now. So this is called standard and extended. And see, the name ACL is nothing but, instead of I can say IP access list, let's say I want to use extended. See, can you see, instead of a number I can define a name. Let's say I'm saying web ACL. See, web ACL is the number. Then deny 10.10.10.10 deny whatever, I'm just typing something. IP host 10.10.10 to any. Then I can say deny. You can specify the network also. IP you can say 192.168.10.0. Then subnet mask, sorry, wildcard mask 0.0.0.255 with any. See, then permit IP any. I'm just writing this. So if I go and check show access list, so can you see this is my extended named ACL. What is mean by named ACL? You, instead of number, you put the name, and here this is the number, and you know how to modify the ACL. So now tell me, which ACL is good one, standard or extended?
Extended one.
Yes. Why?
Because it has a more specification in it.
Good. So it has more granular control, and it will define you can specify sport protocol, and those all things. So that's it. Any questions here? Okay, so in last, like I need more 10 minutes, so I just need to show you some more thing. So let me, so that's ACL is done. Okay, so I can go ahead and I can just remove that ACL. Config terminal, no access list 150, done. When you remove the ACL, it will go on. So now you can go and try to reach this guy again. Boom, yes, we are able to reach the this one again. Okay, so now we have a communication again. So now let me go back to the server. Here in the server, what are the services we have? So if I go to the services, so I can see here HTTP. So see, by default HTTP and HTTPS. So this is something called like copyright, like some image, some hello world. You can upload, see, you can import a Google page here, okay, and you can host it. So this is called hosting of website. In the real time, actually, we use IIS or some Java coding. A web page will be written there and it will put on the server. So that particular port, this server will that web browsing will run on that particular port.
The screen not coming.
The screen is not coming. Now.
Yes.
Okay. So services here I can say the HTTP and HTTPS. Then we have a is it disconnected?
Was the screen is visible?
Now it's coming.
So वो भी बोलना जरूरी था क्या? Okay, so DNS. So we know the HTTP we can use. This is used for hosting the website, and DNS is used for the DNS stuff. What is NTP? Okay, so NTP is something network time protocol. Okay, so whatever the time you have, let's say for example, I'm setting up some time here. Often I'm setting today is 25th. Okay, and this is the time 12007. This is the time. Okay, and I'm just making it on. Okay, NTP. I enable the NTP. So what I will do is I will go to the router. Okay, I'm going to the any network device. Go to any network device and just see show clock. See, my time is in 1993. So you will have hundreds of router switches, firewall. You cannot go and define the time there. Okay, every time when you while configuring the time, some another time will be there. So some seconds, minute difference will be there. So the better is we follow one server. So what I will do is I will say config terminal. I will say NTP server 192.168.20.10 is my NTP server. Okay. So now show clock. Take a little bit time. Show NTP status. So it is unsynchronized, but it will get synchronized. So it will generally take some little bit of time. Then you can go and check the time. So it will be get changed. So that's one thing. So that's the service. So in NTP you can mention the NTP service anywhere, like in switches, routers, machines, everywhere. Like I can go to this switch, show clock. See the time is here very hard. So I can say NTP NTP server 192.168.10. Sorry, 20.10. Done. Show clock. So you can just give some time and check here. Okay, so I will go back here. So this is my NTP. So I can make it off and on again, just so that it can go and sync. You can also enable the authentication. You can put some password if you want, and you can leave it. So if I go back to my router, show clock, अभी तक नहीं हुआ. NTP status. Ping 192.168.20.10. Okay, you can ping there. Clear. Sorry. NTP show NTP associations. Okay, so what this guy is saying, offset when 9 pull. Okay, can you see here? Show clock automatically came here. Now my router time got changed. It is 25th August 2022. And similarly, if I go to the switch, and just now it was 1993. If I go here, so just thoda sa time de do, or maybe you can just try to ping 192 dot. अगर नहीं हो रहा तो in real time it will be very fast. Okay, within a fraction of second it will run 20 by 10. Are you able to reach there or not? Wow. Okay, so the clock is here, so that's fine. Maybe I need to do some more configuration here, but this is what, like, you need to define a place, NTP server. You need to make one of the server as an NTP server, and in all the network devices you need to specify what is the NTP server. So what will happen, this you like these all routers. Okay, show clock. So I will say config terminal server, NTP server 192.168.20.10. Then show clock. So just give time, it will come back. So see, in server you can make a DNS. See, in the organization, one server will work as a DNS, one will work as a NTP, one will work as a Active Directory. So like this, the server is very useful. Okay, then HTTP and this. Okay, syslog. What is syslog? It is like you can receive logs from the network devices. Okay, not only network devices, switches, router, firewall, every device send a log. Okay, so the syslog is on here. So let me go to this router. Okay, and what I can say, config terminal, let me say server, sorry, syslog will support here or not. IP one second, let me see here, config terminal syslog, show logs. See, generally what happen is, if you go to the device, any router, switches, and you can always say show logging. So you can see this, if any interface go down, up, let's say, let me down something, interface for Giga Ethernet 0 by 0, shut down, then I will say no shutdown. So see this activity, so this is called a log, right? So where I can see the log, you can always go to this router and say show logging. If you go down, so you will actually see those lines here. So these lines actually we can store in the in the server. So what I can do, I will go to the config terminal. I will say logging. Okay, logging 192.168. No, I'm going. 20.10. Okay, this is my logging server. Okay, then you can also say logging on. Okay, now what I'm going to is see logging is on. So what I'm going to do is I will just shut down the interface once again. Shut down, no shutdown. So if you go back and check show logging, can you see here some changes you can see here, some logging stuff you are seeing here. So these logs actually we shared here on the syslog. Can you see here? I'm in the syslog server and I'm able to see 192.168.30.1. There was something like some I'm seeing a log. See, interface was down. See, interface up, then logging was got on, initialized, then console. So actually, whatever the logs happening in the network device, you are able to see in the server. Do you see how important the server is? You're configuring time on the server and all the network devices fetch the NTP from the server. Similarly, all the devices, they send syslog to the syslog server. Got it? DNS, NTP, syslog, HTTP, HTTPS. Okay, so now let me show you one more. DSCP. Okay, so DSCP is very useful stuff. Okay, so for example, first Ethernet 0. Okay, DSCP, you need to say a pool. So this is your subnet actually. So you can say service is on. Okay, and TFTP server wildcard. Okay, so see by default what you are saying is your 192.168.20.0 is your network. Okay, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. And the gateway, if you want to queue, you can say 192.168.20.10 is the gateway. Okay, and you make this service on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is in the same LAN. Okay, in the same LAN, I'm going to take few PCs. See, I'm just connecting two machines here. Okay, and I will just connect with any random port from here to here, then here to here. Okay, then I'm not going to configure the IP address. Why? Because here I will say desktop in the IP configuration. I will say, see, there is an option static, right? I will say DSCP. Requesting IP address. Can you see? See, currently it is showing something. So because this is not completely in the LAN, so let's wait. So I will go here in this machine also. I will say go to desktop and I will go here. I will say DSCP. Okay, so okay, this is done. So now go to DSCP. Okay, can you see here? This machine automatically got 192.168.20.2. Right? I will go to this machine and here I will just again I will move to the static and I will say DSCP. Can you see I got the 20.3? So this is what is happening. So this DSCP server, it is releasing the IP addresses. See here, you can, in this place, see, at least you are able to receive that, see that what's happening. But in the real-time server, you can able to see how many IP addresses are released, which are the IP address assigned to which MAC address, those things also. So see how these servers are getting used in our day-to-day life. So we just configure the subnet on the server, DSCP server, and automatically it will define to all the devices. Static IP address we never use for the 1,000 machines. We use the DSCP. So DSCP server, it will create the pool. Okay, you can create multiple pool. Let's say I want, let's say VLAN 20 for the let's say VLAN 50. This is my pool, and what I want 192.168.50.0, and what I want maximum number, what I want is let's say I want to release 200 IP addresses from here. So I will just say add. Can you see here? So VLAN 50 got added. So all the IP address in the VLAN 50 192.168.50.0, they will start getting IP address from here. So I use the 200 means I reserve few IP addresses. So I can go in like printer and some scanner machine, some IP phone, like some network devices. So I can go and use the static IP address. This is the DSCP, HTTP, DSCP, then DNS, syslog, NTP. These all are the services of the server. See how things are happening here. If I go and check show clock, can you see here my time got changed? If I want to send my traffic to this my machine, then I can say, I can define logging, so send my logging to my logging server 20.10. Now you will start seeing the traffic there. So I will say interface giga ethernet 0x1. Let's say shutdown and say no shutdown. So just go here on the server, go to syslog, and you can see here, see 192.168.30.1. Stop sending, receive. So you are able to see. So you know what? This is the packet tracer, and here at least it is giving you some visibility. But in the real time, there will be separate dedicated syslog server, separate DNS server, separate DSCP server, separate NTP servers. Email server will be there. Okay, TFTP servers will be there. TFTP is something you can file transfer protocol. You can transfer the file. Okay, so TFTP is also one of the AAA. It is used for the authentication. So it comes under the security stuff. But AAA is authentication, accounting, and authentication, accounting, and I forget one thing. So this AAA. So it is used for who, what, and why. So who did what when. So this all statement will answer here. So you need to create the username here, and that username and password you can log into any network device from here. So that's called a AAA. So guys, Active Directory or Microsoft Server is very important in the network. All your network devices, everything is, they all are matched to each other. Okay. So if I go here and if I say here in the network ACL, we talk about like named number ACL and named ACL, right? And here we talk about like standard, and we talk about extended, right? So in the both, and in the server, I can say server services on packet tracer. So we talk about HTTP, like it is just a hosting a page. Okay, it's by default it's on HTTP, HTTPS. Then DNS, we change we give the IP to name DNS. DHCP, it assign dynamic host configuration protocol. It assign automatically IP address to the host, right? syslog, all the network device will send the syslog. NTP, network time protocol, NTP, right? So like this, you can add some more like Active Directory. What is Active Directory? You are already learning that in the another course. Okay, then all the user profile, right? All the user profiles and those things. So these all are the server technology. And if you look at your resume, these all protocols are mentioned there. TFTP, SNMP, there are so many protocols, but these are the more famous one which are used in day-to-day activity. So that's it. So this is, as I told, this is a CCNA, it's a beginning and endless. I can say it is a endless, because every you have a lot of things like in switching. This is not end. You have so many things there. In gateway, there are so many things there. In gateway, you can learn HSRP, VRRP protocols, okay, which is gateway load balancing stuff. In the routing, you can see so many advanced things. There is something called redistribution. You can run, exchange the route between OSPF to EIGRP, EIGRP to RIP, like this, exchange the routes. There are a lot many things in the this one. You can also control the routing with the route map, prefix list. So these are all the advanced topics you will see in the BGP advanced stuff and all. Subnetting, it is also never ended stuff. NAT, PAT, you already are aware about. ACL, you need to do the practice, and this Microsoft services. So this is a networking, okay, connecting from one machine to another machine, right? And peer-to-peer network, server client network. In the server client network, you manage these all things. Server is taking care of the user. What the server which you are learning with the Mubin sir, that is server based network, like you are activating various services, user profiles. Similarly, a server can be used with its services like NTP, DSCP, DNS, IIS, logging. These all the server services, and it is used in the network. NTP, see, you can see that, right? You can you have hundreds of devices, so you cannot go and change the time there. So just change that, make one of the servers an NTP and put that command to everywhere. So you will get then NTP time from there. So guys, I can say like this is not an end, but as a base level on the CCNA side, whatever the required things required, like from the fresher 1 year experience, whatever the expected thing, that's yes, that we covered. And the tools, the very important tools what we have is ping, tracert, and NS lookup. Okay, NS lookup. Okay, this one you can always use, and follow. There are in the YouTube, and there are many places like and the URLs, you can find the theory, and you can find the different labs and all. But as I said, this is just starting. You have CCNA, after that you have CCNP, after that you have CCI. So, and CCI in many streams. This is just in routing and switching we are seeing. You have security. You need to, after this, I can say, learn the CCNP. If you want to this track, after this course, I can say, learn the CCNP, RNS, routing and switching. So you just go with the detail of these all topics. Then go for the CCNS security. Okay, just learn what is the security stuff, and then learn the firewall. So then this will make your like from L1 to L2 to L3 to L4, and then after that learn L7 firewall. So this is how the approach should be. from L1 to L7. That will make you a full-fledged network engineer. Okay, so as I said, this is a separate job on this thing, and please continuously do the practice. Even if I don't practice for 1 week, 2 weeks, so I will also forget the command. So keep preparing the notes and start preparing your own notes, and when you start preparing the note, that's nothing but a preparation of your interview. Okay, so with that I will end today's session. Thanks for your joining, and hopefully if things good, then we'll start AWS stuffs. So any questions before we wrap up the call? दो घंटे से बोल रहा हूँ यार. No questions, speechless.
No.
Okay. Okay, fine then. So we'll stop here.